the Brooklyn Bridge tonight. Voices strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air. Changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat. Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see. Black Power Media on the screen. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned. Breaking free from everybody. Social talk and politics. Every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Ancestral line.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, brother Blacksmith, and sister Marcia will be rocking out with us tonight, family. We got a great program for y'all tonight. You know, the question is, how do we as freedom fighters in this day and time use technology to our benefit? And we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Also, got to talk about another museum trip taken this morning, actually. We'll talk a little bit about that and what's going on in the news. But first up on the Brooklyn Bridge, we got our brother Blacksmith, the writer, the blogger, the former merchant seaman in the building. What's good, brother Blacksmith? How are you this evening?
Mr. Keisha, good evening. How are you, sweetie?
I'm here. I'm ready to rock out. We got a lot to get into tonight, brother. But before we get into our topic, a lot of things have been happening since we logged off last week. Give us a 411, brother, on your perspective as you see it.
The soul activity is crazy. Diddy's cases keep adding up, and every other day now is a new person included in. On the big level, I think the next big guy instead of Jay-Z is going to be Ray J, because he opening his mouth and saying stuff, and even though he ain't saying names, we all know who he's talking about. And I wanted to bring it up last week, but it didn't get there. But we all know he was complicit somehow in Whitney Houston's death. He was the last person reported to have seen her alive. Allegedly. Well, I've seen that written and said in other publications and so on. So, according to those people, allegedly, and as well, there's video footage of him being approached with guns by Diddy's sons and so on and so forth. Whether it's staged or not, who knows, or what have you. But we know he's a complicit in a lot of things. His claim to fame was having sex with the Kardashian chick, and we all know that. So, I mean, he's talentless, and he's figuring into a lot of stuff, and his life is under pressure as we speak. And the celestial just keeps happening as well, and A lot of weather anomalies all over the world. There was big flooding in Spain a few weeks ago, last week in Brazil and other places in South America. It's just crazy. I mean, we could take it from many different angles as to what's going on out here. So, yeah.
Well, first, I just wanted, because you mentioned Diddy. This came out. The tables are turning. The attorney who allegedly has 120 victims claims against Diddy is now being sued for an alleged assault on a former female client. But this is something that we've discussed here prior, Brother Black. You have to be very careful in your dealings, in particular your sexual appetites. These things will be used against you, and as we see, it goes against the grain when it comes to all barriers as far as the wealthy and powerful are concerned. You can look at people like CBS executive Les Moonves, and I'm still waiting for him to be put in handcuffs. What's the delay on that? But who also is the husband of Julie Chen. So, you got him, you got so many people who are being exposed for their sexual appetites. And, even, in our previous conversations, a lot of politicians also got their feet in the fire right now because of their sexual appetites. When you look at the situation of District Attorney Fonnie Willis and her relationship dealings with another prosecutor who was put in charge of Trump's case. So, like I said, family, you better come in with clean hands before you step in the fray, because they will use these things against you each and every time. Brother Blacksmith, your thoughts on, Diddy's attorney this attorney who is filing charges against Diddy, now being accused himself of sexual assault.
Well, I mean, depending on how long ago it was, I'm just finding out about it, so I don't know anything about it prior to you just bringing it up. But if it was more than 2-3 years ago, he's gonna say that is payback for him doing that. And Diddy probably had investigators dig up something on him, whether it was an accusation or an actual event, who knows, and use that as the excuse as to why he's being vilified right now. But what I will say to that is, and if not, he's exposed. So, I mean, he may have to recuse himself, because he has the as far as I know, Diddy didn't have a house or any residence in Texas that I know of. So that doesn't mean anything, because these groups work on an international level. We know that through the Masonics and all those fraternal groups. So who knows what's going to happen with that? But yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a monkey wrench to throw in the game right now. So
yeah. But it's just funny that came out, as it is alleged that there's some shenanigans that have been going on in the detention center that he has been held in, as far as authorities raiding his cell and taking possession of confidential documents between himself and his attorney, which is a conflict in due process. So that's funny that just came up earlier today. But I want us to remember.
Real quick, Sister Keisha, let me ask a question.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
What was the foundational basis for them raiding his room, his cell?
I don't know. I don't know what that was. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't heard, but I don't want to speculate. But moving along, we got to remember the murder of Sean Bell that took place here several years ago during this time. So there was an interview done with his then fiance, and we'll hear her comments, and we'll come right back and we'll discuss this. Hold on, family.
Supposed to be my wedding day.
But it ended up being the worst day of Nicole Port Bell's life.
Just hours before she was to marry Sean Bell, he was shot dead by NYPD detectives in a hail of 50 bullets.
Everyone who had come to town to celebrate the wedding with us, they stayed for the funeral.
Friday morning marks 10 years since one of the city's most horrific and controversial police shootings. Sean Bell and his friends were celebrating at his bachelor party at a Queens club when cops say they thought he had a gun. As they went to approach him in his Nissan, undercover detectives say he tried to ram them with it. They fired 50 shots, killing the soon-to-be groom. 2 of his friends in the car were shot and seriously injured. No gun was found.
I've learned to accept. I've learned to be able to live, because if I were to hold on to that bitterness, it would just eat away like cancer.
There was a state trial for 3 of the detectives involved. A judge found them not guilty. The Justice Department decided against a federal trial. 10 years later, Port Bell says old wounds are reopened every time she hears of another unarmed black man killed by police.
It was supposed to be my wedding day.
But it ended up being the worst.
That family, but there's a lot to the backstory of that as well. And one day, I hope I'll be able to discuss it here. There was a meeting in City Hall that was headed up by Charles Barron with the Bell family, and there were some things that took place that were very, very strange. So one day, hopefully I'll be able to discuss that in full. But Brother Black, your thoughts on that homicide of Sean Bell by NYPD officers?
Wow. I remember that when that happened, because I had just left New York that day, and I was on a ship in Japan, and I put the TV on, and I'm like, oh, that's in New York, something happened. And then I heard the story. I had left the day before. And when I saw it, I was like, wow. I sent you something in the chat box. If you don't mind, I'm going to read it. I'm going to preface it first, though. Have you noticed that those type of killings haven't been happening much in New York? Like maybe up to about 10 years ago? Have you noticed that? Is it noticeable to you?
Say that again, brother.
Have you noticed that those type of murders haven't happened a lot in New York in the last, let's say, 5 or 6 years? Is that noticeable to you?
In the cities, in the 5 boroughs, yes, but upstate, no. They're still happening upstate. Yes.
Okay, that's why I needed to preface it, because what I'm about to read right now is going to say why. No, and I asked this question of Google right when you were showing the video of Sean Bell. No, New York City police officers do not have qualified immunity. So they knew they had to stop shooting black folks. I believe, this is a belief now, this is not my facts, that Trump did that. Okay. In March 2021, the New York City Council passed legislation ending qualified immunity for NYPD officers. The legislation, then the number is .2220-A, created a local right of security against unreasonable search and seizure and excessive force, which would cover all what we just said. So this is the reason why I believe the police killings have reduced so much in New York, because there was a point where every other month, somebody was getting shot under mysterious circumstances and either dying or getting maimed. And for the most part, they have a shoot to kill policy now. So for the most part, dying. You know what I'm saying? It was a miracle that what's his name survived all those shots. I forget the name right now. Some years ago, I don't remember his name, but it'll come to me. And if it doesn't, I'll research it after the show. But that's the reason why, and that needs to be a law in the 50 states, not just in New York City, because we lost too many already, and so on and so forth. So that's my take on it.
Yeah. I understand your perspective on that, and you are accurate in that assertion. But the thing that I understand about white aggressionists is they don't give a damn about a law. It's about survival for them, and they operate on that paradigm. I believe one of the suspects and tried persons from the January 6th debacle had his own FBI kill list. So, again, he ain't give a damn. he ain't give a damn. So, this is the paradigm that they operate under. While Brother Tad and Sister Marcia get their things set up here, let's give them some shout outs to the crew. K Rush 409. K Rush 409, you might want to hold on tonight. We're going to give you some props for something tonight. So hold on. Sister Donna, Brother Kerwood, Alabama in here heavy. Always. Sister Aruba 927 in the building. What's good? We got the Mars from Doggy Diamonds TV over here, family. That's what it is. Sister Farnessa, Bitcoin gonna be 100,000 tomorrow. Bitcoin gonna be 100,000 tomorrow, sis. Now, family, mind you, again, it was 62,000 before the election. After the election, Bitcoin has been going through the roof. And let me tell y'all something. It doesn't matter if you can't buy a share. You do know you can buy partial shares, right? So we'll get into all of that a little bit later. So say you got $500 right now and you put that in Bitcoin, that's going to double your bread. So anyway, we'll get into all of that in a few minutes. Yes, sis, we back on the Brooklyn Bridge tonight. Donna said, allegedly Nick Gordon was the last person to see Whitney alive and Bobby Christina. Wow. Yeah, K Rush, Dirty Laundry, all of them. Brooke in the building, what's good? You might want to hold on for something tonight, family. You might want to hold on. BK, William Mackey, History Club, Brother Ray on the check-in. Brother Kadir, what's good? Glad you rocking out with us again. So yes, and we got Brother Monty, Sister Joyce, always on the check-in. Suffolk County, Aunt Marie, Uncle Jesse, always in here. Let me see. I gotta. Oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. I see your text, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But yeah, she said I got my seatbelt. Buckle up, sis. It's gonna be a ride. Sister Pat, Freedom Party in the building. What's good? You getting a lot of love, Sister Pat. I'm gonna tell you that right now from the shorts, that we posted up. So I'm gonna just tell you that right now. So get ready, because like I said, in January we're gonna hit the ground running. So a lot of things happening in the news. We got to keep abreast of what's going on. We'll talk about some other things as well. But I took a trip this morning to the Morgan Library and Museum. Now when Sister Marcia was on here and she was telling y'all how a bit snooty the societies are, right? Wait until I take Sister Marcia to the Morgan Library and Museum, Brother Black. Let me tell you something. When I say I be the only one in these places, I be the only one in these places. And that's the gift and the curse, right? The curse is your Rugal be all over and they be looking at you like, what the hell you doing in here? How you get access to the reading room? That's another story. Because you got to book an appointment to go into the reading room, right? It takes about maybe, about a month before you get an approval and you get a certain time. And you have to know exactly what it is that you're looking to research. They're just not going to open the room to you. Excuse me. So you got to be pretty much, yeah, this snooty sis. But anyway, let me get Brother Tad in here and we'll rock out in a minute. Brother Tad on the Brooklyn Bridge, OG Wisdom Podcast with us this evening. What's good, brother? How are you?
Peace, sis, peace. It's I'm good. I'm in good spirits, but it's a sad day. I lost my stepfather a couple of hours ago. So rest in paradise to my stepfather, Alfredo Clark Sr. You know, that's my
Oh wow, my condolences to your family.
yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Peace be upon his soul, my brother.
Yeah, you know, but he's with his wife. He with his best friend right now. So they good money right now. I know they partying up there with all the rest of the family that is transition. You know, this is the ebb and flow of life. You know what I mean? If anybody knew Peaches, they knew her husband Fred. It was Peaches and Fred, not Peaches and her. Peaches and Fred. That's who it was. You know, but I'm, and thank you all for the condolences. But you know, I'm still in good spirits. Of course, I had to shed a tear. You know, I mean, he's been with my mom's for about 40 years, something like that. Definitely over 30. They got married in 87, but they was together a few years prior to that, you know. So shout out to him. Yeah,
Yes,
but
indeed. You know, they always say, you know, when you're together for so long, you know, it's very hard to, you know, continue the journey without your ride or die partner. And again, my condolences to you and the family. You know, my husband and I, we talk about that all the time. And I think if I was to leave this world now, he would be joining me right after.
yeah,
Because it's very difficult. It's very difficult, you know, to live with a broken heart. And is nothing like having a ride or die partner for so long. And I believe he's from Panama. Is that correct?
yes, he is.
Mhm.
Yes, he
Okay.
is. That's what they used to call him, Panna. All the Spanish people, because he about his brother Black's complexion, you know, thick brown. You know what I'm saying? And when he starts speaking Spanish, they be like, oh, because he don't say much. And when he speaks Spanish. You can sit there and translate.
Did he speak like this, like from Panama? Did he speak like that?
Nah, I ain't shit like that.
Now he ain't talk like that. He still got his
You
knock
sound,
it off, Black.
you sound Mexican. You sound like the migrant, bro. Do he sound like this or like this?
I'm from Serious B, my man. Anunnaki blood all the way, through and through.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You
Yeah,
know,
you know.
but going back to because K Rush 409, he definitely understands this experience, you know, and losing his wife
Yeah.
during that pandemic. So, you know, and you know, Wendy was, you know, just a joy to be around. You know, when he brought her into the family, you with the family, and it was just always a joy of being with her and having her energy around, especially when Uncle D used to have the cookouts back over there on Elder. You know, it just was it's a bright spot missing from our family with
Yeah.
her not here.
Yeah. You know, so me and Doggy was just talking about it a little earlier. And it was funny because we was talking about him yesterday or the day before yesterday. Just growing up in our house, you know, the different how and what we were talking about was black music. How in our house we only listened to black music, but everybody had their own genre. Like I was an R&B, my brother played reggae, Doggy was hip hop, my mother and Doggy brother was house, and my stepfather just loved Luther. That was his dude. Luther was, and I was like, yo, and me and my cousins and my brother, we get tired of each other music, we chuck the tapes or we hide them from each other. Cause you know he gonna come in, you know, the dual cassette player. So if we ain't wanna hear that, we try to beat each other home. I know when you come in, you're gonna play this, but we hiding that. You know, so we was just laughing about that. All the music we used to listen to in the crib, you know, all the different types of music, you know, because we were just talking about black music, you know, and being black is a dope experience. You know, my stepfather,
It is.
Panamanian, you know, but he's a brother. So now when you fast forward, and I know I want to take it to this place, but today's conversation in 2024, everybody talk about the tethers and the FBAs and you know, don't date a woman with children. They don't appreciate it. That's not my experience, so I really I understand. I understand the conversation. I understand the political implications. So as a black man from Brooklyn, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on who I am, but I'm not gonna discount our family from the diaspora. That we're not gonna do. You know,
Word.
And then I'm not going to minimize his value within the family, because I always knew who my pops was. My pops was never,
Word.
okay? That is my mother's husband. He's not my father. That's my mother's husband. Her and my father couldn't make it work, but she found somebody who could, and he added value to the family. You know what I'm saying? He didn't come in. He wasn't inappropriate. He wasn't trying to bully people. He knew when to step in and when to fall back. You know what I'm saying? He added to the family. Nothing was taken away. You know what I mean? So when I hear dudes talk about that now, yo, don't date a woman with kids. I mean, women today are a little different than our parents' generation and our generation, but nonetheless, you know, it's still, it doesn't serve the community, because young people still need a male figure in the home, whether it's their biological father or not.
You ever been to Panama, Brother Tad?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I tell people in regard to piggyback off of what you were saying a minute ago, I tell people, look, you know what I'm saying? We all got standards. We all got boundaries. But if you really love someone, I'm not talking about taking advantage of people. I'm not talking about, you know, getting over. I'm talking about if you really want to be with somebody, you're going to work it out however you got to. So I was speaking to a sister a few weeks ago, and I asked her the question, if let's say your man was getting bread, he getting crazy bread out the frame, you don't need to work, and you a housewife or something like that, but he don't even, you know, run the street and start smoking or doing crazy stuff. Let's say his mama died, and he have a nervous breakdown as a result. She died out the blue, all of a sudden. And now he ain't making the bread he was, because, you know, his head is, you know, he's not in the right place right now. You might have to hold him down. What would you do in such a case? And she told me all the right stuff and so on and so forth. But, you know, with the women we talking about that's probably under 30 today, a lot of them, they ain't got time for that. They out. And so I tell people, you have to understand, in a relationship, it can't be 50-50 all the time. It can't be 75-25. You got to make adjustments as you go along, because things happen, and it ain't something that you might foresee. So what happens when those things happen? If the love and the respect is there, you're going to work that out to a way where it at least works for both of y'all.
Yeah.
You know, I never go by that 50-50 rule.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, we all put 100% into everything. So, you know, there are changes in the dynamic. You know, recently, or not too long ago, you know, my husband faced a serious health crisis. And it changed the dynamic big time in our union. So, you know, definitely understand that. And I've seen, you know, my parents go through it, my aunts and uncles. And one thing that I'm very blessed, and I think Brother Tad can understand that, we come from families who live their lives out in the open, right? So we had the pleasure to learn from their victories and their mistakes. So again, you know, you gotta look at it for what it is. Relationships can be very difficult, but it all boils down to what it is that you want out of it. What can you bring to it to make it better, right? So, you know, when you involve yourself, if you can't give 100% of yourself, then make it known. Because we in this life as Black people, we don't have a lot of time to waste. So, you know what it is that you want. And understand that, you know, you may, as Brother Black say, have to make some changes, right? I can attest to the fact that when you first get together with someone, the situation changes 20 years down the line. So you have to move differently, right? Your intellect grows, you know, your way of being grows. You know, it depends on a lot of situations, and you have to have someone who's willing to ride with you and ride that wave with you. And everyone that, you know, as far as my aunts and uncles are concerned, they brought people to the table who can bring value to our family. So say, for example, on my father's side of the family, my aunts and uncles been together 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So, you know, when I got together with my husband, if you can't bring this tangent to us, then sorry, I don't want to be with you because this is the dynamic that I come from. I don't know anything else, period. So, having family is
Everything.
yeah, it's everything. And I feel sorry for the people who don't have that.
Yeah.
I really do feel sorry for you to not know what that is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't, unfortunately come from situations where they never seen such a thing. But
since you hit it on the head, I was going to say that because, there are people who aren't willing to grow with you as you go on. And with the advent of the internet, it's so influential in people's perspective on what dating is today. I hear people constantly regurgitate rhetoric. Now, we wasn't even calling people from the diaspora tethers a couple of years ago. Now everybody's a tether. Like, come on, man. Let's keep it a buck. We still black. We still black.
Well, brother Tad, I as one, if whether you like the term or not, real talk, it has to apply. It's like when you go to Africa. I lived in Ghana, so I'm saying this from an experience, not from hearsay or reading it or some other experience. Whether you want to be acknowledged as an African American or not, that's what they're going to call you,
and that's okay.
Right.
No, I get it.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, because I'm not going to come there. And I think Sister Keisha and myself, we covered this a million times on this platform. When you in other people's homes, you just respect the rules. Unfortunately, people who come here, they don't respect the rules. And again, that's a new thing.
We don't make the rules, though. That's the difference.
No,
we don't make the rules.
Hold up. In our communities, we do.
Yeah, okay.
In black communities, we do. And I think I get it about the tethers and everything, because as we stated before, people who are not from the soil, they come here, cosplay as us, then, they work in the interests of the other folks. I'm talking about when they're in our community. We embrace them in the family. We're not really separatists like that, Black Americans, but unfortunately, when we join other families, we hear the grumbles, we hear the little snide remarks and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But again, when you know who you are, when you know your person you dealing with, stuff like that really don't bother you. You know what I mean? But now, with the advent of the internet, people just regurgitate foolishness, even against other black people. And we're already a small group that's fighting white supremacy. Because whether you're in America, whether you're on the continent, whether you're in the Caribbean, we still have an open opponent. So why should I make you an opponent against the same powers that's holding us back? It's the divide and conquer. If we recognize, like, when Jamaicans is in Jamaica fighting for Jamaica independence, I'm from Brooklyn. I ain't got a nickel in that quarter. I can support you from here, but that's it. I'm not going to come to Jamaica on vacation and then act like I know the way. And we would hope people would do the same when they get here. But unfortunately, some folks listen to the ops, and not all of them do. Some of our diasporan brothers and sisters don't listen to the ops. But my point is that how the internet has polluted our community with the misinformation and the disinformation on who we are, because regardless to what it is, we all still black, whether you're from Panama, Barbados, Belize, Haiti, wherever you're from, we still black people creating black families. Because guess what? One thing we know for sure, we don't know if we're going to have a boy or a girl, but we know we're going to have a black child. And that's the important part of it all. A child who actually had the best of both worlds. Like, yeah, my pops is American, my mom's is from Ghana. So, I could speak Tree and I could speak hood in Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Right.
These tools are valuable for folks to really know how to navigate, because with the black experience, one thing we walk away with, if nothing else, is how to deal with multiple personalities. We get exposed to all kinds of degenerates and elites and bourgeoisies and crack-ass crackers and liberal white folks. Like, we deal with it all. One thing I say, and I'm going to pass the mic, from my experience, it's always been funny, because if I don't open my mouth, nobody knows what I'm thinking, where I'm from, because I have Spanish people walk up to me, start talking Spanish. I don't speak it, I shit. Sorry, mama. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak Spanish. Some Caribbean people may think I'm Caribbean. And people, one thing I realize is people always trying to recruit you to their side of whatever it is. I get approached by Muslims because of the beard. Assalamu alaikum, Mark. Like, yeah, what up? Folks, hey, brother, what church you go to? Why? I want to invite you to my church. I'm good. Hebrew Israelite. Everybody's trying to recruit people. My position is always let people be who they're born to be. Everybody's on this journey. You know what I'm saying? We got to get our stuff together before we start trying to recruit people. And the one thing I love about this platform, Thorough Black Talk, we're not telling nobody to join no cultural organization. We're not telling you join no religious organization. We just saying empower yourself with knowledge and be aware of all that's going on around you. That is knowledge of self. We want you to be the best you that you can be. Don't join. We're not saying join swap. We're not saying join party. Could you support the efforts? Definitely. But we're not trying to recruit you because we already got people that's doing the work. If you can support us, yes. Because if it's not in you, it's not in you. If it is in you, you're gonna show up. It's not like pulling teeth. But for us, particularly here in America, people put identities on us that they feel we need to subscribe to. And unfortunately, our heads are spinning because we're getting pulled in so many different directions. We don't know who we are. So therefore, when we trying to court somebody or get with them, we don't even know who we looking for because we don't even know who's going to compliment our confused ass. And I'm not talking about me specifically. I've met people who are truly confused. The conversation, Sister Keisha, from sisters. They got the rhetoric down pat. But what I always say is rhetoric. It's rhetoric because knowledge shows up in your behavior. It shows up in how you support people and how you treat people, not by what you say. Because you say one thing and do something else. It's a contradiction. And many of us are walking contradictions, so we don't need no extra contradiction. One thing I can say about my mother and her husband, their love was so genuine. I've never heard an argument, never heard them say, I need a break. Like they just be in the house bored together. I don't know how they do it. They play Yahtzee together. They'll play just them two. They ain't need nobody else. They ain't need no house full of company, even though it was fun when company came over. You know what I'm saying? You know how it goes, Sister Keisha, Brother Black, when your aunts and uncles come over and they bring your cousins and the grown folks in one room and you and your cousins in another, or y'all go outside. Best times. But their love was genuine.
Yeah,
And I
and like
don't see much no more. I don't see
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's almost. I mean, it still exists, bro. But I mean,
Yeah, few and far
who's
between.
seeing it? Yeah, who's seeing it exactly? Because I don't even see it anymore.
Right. And we used to, like Sister Keisha said, with families, that was just the thing. When somebody brought somebody home, you knew they was gonna be around. Like, yeah, this is such and such. And everybody know I gotta get used to him, get used to her. Because you didn't just bring anybody around. I've been brought around, Sister Keisha, I swear, I don't mean to keep going, but I've been brought to people's homes where I'm like, me and homegirl don't even know if we rocking like this. Why am I meeting her family already? I don't even know if I like her. Because she ain't meeting my moms until, like, Ma, this is what I'm saying. We're going to be serious and bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? But now people, like, yeah.
It's funny you say that, Brother Tad, when I was dating. And I think my daughter was almost a year old. And I used to tell dudes, if you see me in the street with my daughter, keep walking. We ain't there yet, brother.
Right.
I don't want her to know you, period. Keep walking. I need a what's up and we'll holler later. You know what I mean? You can't be bringing everybody around. When I brought my husband around, Uncle Dragon, Uncle Jesse, look, let's go in the back. Let's holler in the back. We going in the back. Because she brought you here. They know I was never bringing nobody around. Cousin K. Rush for him now. He tell you I was never bringing nobody around. Is you crazy? Nah, I don't play them kind of games. Let's get Sister Marcia in here so we could talk about the Morgan Library and Museum, because we got some other stuff we got to talk about, family. Let's get Sister Marcia on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's up, Sister Marcia? Africans on the rise. What's good?
Peace, family. How's everyone doing? Nice to see Thorough Black Talk on this Brooklyn Bridge. Brother Black, Sister Keisha, condolences, Brother Tad.
Thank
Nice to see everyone again.
Brother Black, is it raining on your planet?
Actually, it's raining Cubans and Cronians.
I believe you too. I believe you, bro. Yo, we haven't had long.
I'm gonna make a ring and send you one.
Yeah, all right. Just Keisha cut his mic.
Already.
We even get in here good, Marcia. You see the shenanigans already. But so this morning, I took a trip to the Morgan Library and Museum. So, I figured if I go on a weekday, I could get more access. I did to a certain extent. But I was saying earlier, Sister Marcia, the Morgan Museum and Library is a unique place. I got a picture of the wood that Jesus Christ carried his own cross from. So that is there. The original Bible is there. The Gutenberg Bible is there. The Gospels, all of them are there. So, this library and museum is quite profound, but it's a story within a story. Sister Marcia and I were chatting, I think last night sometime, about Belle DaCosta Green, who was the original director of the museum and library. She is the original curator. And she was the one who acquired most of the artifacts and relics that are there at the Morgan Library and Museum. Again, her name is Belle DaCosta Green. She hails from a prominent family out of DC, the Fleet family and the Greener family. She changed her name from Greener to Green. Her father actually was the first Black man to graduate Harvard University. He graduated in 1870, the same year that Black men got the right to vote. So again, when I say you don't study history, one person, one date, one event, you have to look at the totality of that era, right? In 1870 or the 1870s was the first civil rights movement. And we don't talk about that. And there's reasons why we don't talk about that. And we'll get into a little bit of that next week again. But Belle DaCosta Green was a very light woman. Her mother, her father, very, very light. I would equate them to what we as Black Americans would refer to as blue veins, right? You so light, you can see the blue veins. And they had, I think, hazel eyes and gray eyes. So Belle, she decided under the tutelage of her mother to pass for white. And anyway, she attended Princeton University. She got a job on a campus as a librarian. She meets and befriends J.P. Morgan's nephew, who then introduced her to J.P. Morgan. And he hires her on the spot to be his director. She was a woman of high fashion, high society. If you read her book, Personal Librarian, she talks about, being in parties with the Carnegies and that like. But, she passed for white most of her life, to the end of her life, to be exact. Another librarian who was hired later on kind of figured her out, and that became problematic in that dynamic. But so she passes for white. She later has a relationship with Bernard Berenson. Bernard Berenson is the Italian art critic, art historian. He's big as far as that is concerned. But if you're in the art world, then you should know who Bernard Berenson is. A Jewish man. Anyway, she enters an affair with him. He and his wife have an open marriage. She later becomes pregnant by him, and they go out and have some drinks and hanging out. Next thing she know, she wakes up in a hospital where the abortion had taken place. It's just a crazy story. So, but I want to give you some background about the museum.
Wait, so the
Guys,
ratchetness was happening. We
oh
think
yeah, it was a
ratchetness happens
change.
right now. Ratchetness was happening then. Brothers and sisters, we are not the beginners of ratchetness.
Yes, sis, yes. So, I want to play this little video about the museum, and then we'll come right back and we'll discuss in a minute. Family, hold on. Here we go.
The Morgan Library and Museum is a lot of things to a lot of different people. It's a museum, it's a research center, it's an event venue, it's an educational space, it's a place for contemplation, and it's a place to even just grab a bite for lunch.
The Morgan Library started as J. Pierpont Morgan's collection of rare books, manuscripts, objects, the repository of the greatest thinkers, writers, and creators in the Western tradition.
Over more than a century, it has grown into a major cultural institution where people can come together and talk about literature and ideas and the works that really have marked them and changed them.
We are finding ways of illuminating these moments of art, literature, music, or history in an interdisciplinary way, and really getting us as close as we can to understanding the creative process.
We can really show that pedigree of creativity in interesting ways.
Everything is kind of intimately scaled. We have a lot of material that really shows the artist's hand at work, getting into the head of our artists and authors.
I think you can think about the Morgan Library and Museum as an institution interested in the history of creation. The drafts behind the novel, or the scratched out, rewritten Beethoven score, in addition to the printed final version.
The handwritten material by some of the greatest writers and historical figures the world has ever seen, including Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, Oscar Wilde, historical figures like George Washington, Napoleon.
And we always have a drawings exhibition. It's just a critical mass of attention on the subject that is unmatched anywhere else.
And indeed, the library building itself is truly an architectural treasure and a part of the collection.
The role of our conservators is to safeguard the collections for the future and also to keep them safely accessible to our constituents who come to do research in the reading room and members of the public who can access the collections through our digitizing programs.
At the same time that we're a museum, we are also a very important research center for scholars who come to consult our rare collections.
The researchers come from all over the world and they run the gamut. They are artists, writers, historians, students, and so many more.
One of the great surprises of the Morgan is its dynamism. There is constant challenge to visualize ways of bringing these small but ambitious projects to light.
When you come to the Morgan, there's so many options for how to engage with our collections and with the institution. You can come to see an exhibition, but also we offer a lot of related programming. So there may be a film or a concert or a curator-led talk.
More than anything, the safekeeping of knowledge is of paramount importance in today's world. It is our ethical responsibility to provide access to that knowledge and to bring that knowledge to the public.
And what you see on these shelves is not simply Morgan's collection that is frozen in the past. This is a growing collection.
I think for anyone who loves the liberal arts, this is a place where they feel immediately at home.
So again, family, I'm getting ready to take another trip, probably after this holiday. For those of you in New York, I know Sister Marcia wants to go. Sister Brooke, if you want to go, Brother Tad, let me know. I'm going to try to go after the holiday because I don't know how long Belle DaCosta Green office will be on display. So, I want you guys to see it, while it's still available. So again, I took a trip this morning rather. And when you look like us, you know, you and people of means see you into their spaces. You know, you get the looks and, you know, they give you the cold shoulder, whatever. But the gift part is, you know, a lot of the guys who work security, they give you the hookup. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they look a little, yeah, we see ourselves up in there, you know, because we don't come in these spaces, family. I'm sorry, but we don't, and we have to because they hold the wealth of information that we need. All of this information that I have on the Democratic Party, God damn it, I got it from libraries and museums, period. Period. I took their knowledge and displayed it before you so that you can understand what's really going on. But if they have a book that talked about how to get people to think during the 1500s, right? And how they use biblical text, if you will. And they talk about, you know, how they eliminated certain texts as a spell, if you will, to Black people. It's crazy. It's crazy. So when Brother Black be telling y'all we in a spell under this mother, he's right. The literature is there. I just have to say this. So again, I see Sister Brooke say, yeah, she want to go.
Hey, Sister Keisha.
Go ahead, brother.
Real talk. Didn't you used to say the same thing about going to NRA meetings? You say that in UAM all the time.
All the time.
How you say that about the museums now?
When we went out there, brother, when we went out to Virginia to the NRA museum, we was our group was the only Black people up in there. Period. We was the only ones up in there. We lost Sister Marcia. She'll work it out. But we was the only one up in there. When you enter the museum, they let you know that you're on sacred land, right? So shout out to the Lenape people. They too give respect. Now here is the Belle de Costa Green space. This is a portrait of her. When you enter the gallery, which is her office actually, you see the many things that she collected on behalf of J.P. Morgan. So again, here's a little depiction about her and her life. Again, she, you know, passed so white. When you enter these two doors here, there is a film about with curators, a documentary film of curators talking about Belle de Costa Green. Here is the book of the Office of the Dead, the original writing. I'm trying to find this was the picture that I think Sister Farnessa said they hurry past that Egyptian bus. But they have so much, sis, so much. It takes a while to go through everything. This is the ceiling of the office of J.P. Morgan. It's in its original state. So this is what his office looked like. There is a portrait of him opposite his desk. This book on misogyny is crazy. We'll talk about that next week. Here is some pictures of the library. A lot of films have been produced here in this library as well. Here are some of the paintings on the office wall. Now here is a jeweled cover of a book of the Gothic novels. So the jewels on this book alone is crazy, but the information within it is even better. So here is the ceilings. They do not allow you to take video, and them security guards be on your ass. I'm gonna tell you that. At least they on my ass. This is a bust of Belle de Costa Green that was done when you enter the library. You see her there. J.P. Morgan put so much trust into her. When he sends her around the world to acquire pieces, literature, artwork, jewels, even the teeth of Queen Elizabeth. Wow. Oh yeah, he gave her no budget. He actually wanted to have a relationship with Belle de Costa Green. She felt some sort of way towards him. I believe he was 30 years older than she was. But that never matured to anything. But this place is spectacular. this is, well, I'm gonna save that for next time because this is a story within a story as far as that is concerned. There is some information again about John Pierpont Morgan, his family, where they get their money from. This piece, right here in the middle, maybe I can expand it a little bit so you guys can see. Let's see. This is where the wood is from the cross. And when you look at the pictures of the apostles that are painted here, the majority of them are Black. So, this one got an afro. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, that's part of the original cross. They have one of the earlier writings on astrology for those of you who believe and understand astrology and how it works. The original manuscripts on those books are there. They have an abolitionist section. This is the American Anti-Slavery Almanac of 1839, which is also on display. Here is the rotunda ceiling. This is where his body was laid in rest when he died I think he was in Italy. When he died, his body was returned back and laid in state here in the rotunda. Belle de Costa Green was the one to receive his body. He actually took care of her in his will. I believe he left her $50,000, which I guess would be the equivalent of 50 million today. At that time, he paid her more than a physician, not a Black physician, but a physician. He paid her very well. She was able to take care of her entire family on her salary. He really had a liking towards Belle de Costa Green. Here is the original print of Richard Wright's Black Boy that is also there. This mask, plaster mask of George Washington, is also on display. So there's a lot of information there. We'll be going back after the holiday. So I hope, if you're ready, if you want to go, then let me know. And we'll make it happen. Probably a Saturday or a Sunday. We'll make it happen. We'll go because they're really gonna be on 10 when at least 10 of us come together. But I'm telling you now, hold on, I'm gonna give you some rules because I don't want y'all kicked out because they have the right to be selective and they do it. So I'm just telling you, this is not my first time here. So I'm just telling you, don't come in there with your pro-Black hoodies on and all that. If a Karen in there and she find that offensive, they will put you out. I'm telling you, you cannot walk around with your coat. It must be checked. If you're gonna walk around with your coat, you got to keep it on. You can't walk around with your hand. The security be on today. Don't play over there. I'm just telling y'all. So, yes, go ahead, brother.
Tell them again. Real quick. One time I was downtown and I was looking for the documentary Hoodwink. Dr. Boyce Watkins, Umar, I think Dr. Claude was in it. I asked the brother, I said, do you have the movie Hoodwink? Yo, he looked me up and down, rolled his eyes. Yo, we don't sell that here, brother. Right? And I was like, no, it's a documentary. You got to use buzzwords. It got Dr. Umar, Dr. Claude. He perked up. Oh. And then we started talking. He going to look at me and say, brother, looking at you, I never think you were so deep. It's just funny because this is Negroism with dashikis on. This is what you call the dusty hoteps. I said, bro, we always hollering we at war. But if we at war, why we running around behind enemy lines with our uniform? Everybody don't need to know our political position all the time. So when you run around with the red, black, and green on the front of your shirt saying F the police, trying to get into the society, sis, we be looking crazy. We be looking crazy. That's why I often talk about health. If you know, right, sis? Always talk about the importance of health. Take care of yourself, first of all. Before you start talking about tearing down any system or anything, man, build your own system up. Build up your muscular system, your skeletal system, your immune system. Boost your own system up. Create a system within your home. Create a system within your community. Before you start talking about taking down this system. Because unfortunately, that's what I was saying earlier about the rhetoric. people constantly regurgitate what they hear online. Because Sister Keisha, I think I can speak for the four of us. Most of the stuff we learned from going to museums and libraries before you could just jump online, watch a 3-minute video, and now you got 500 years of history under your belt because you watched the video. Because Dr. So-and-so says so. Now, you had to show up at the UAM and just sit there. Sometimes you pull up with a notepad. When they was on Bedford and Fulton, though, I'm talking about, that's for me at least. When they was on Bedford and Fulton and then moved over to the Masonic Temple on Claremont and Lafayette back in the 90s, back then. Now, I ain't coming to the consciousness in 2012 like everybody else watching Sonetta. I've been on it. When you had to go to A&B bookstore downtown on Lawrence Street before they moved over across the street to the bigger space, back when Talib Kweli had in Kiru bookstore on Flatbush and St. Mark's before anybody even knew who he was or that he rapped, when he was just a dude in the bookstore. Yeah, back then, when you went to Grand Army Plaza to the library. And I say that because, sis, I'm glad you said that. Because every time we got a gathering of us going together, everybody want to put on a blackest act and clothes. And I'm like, you come in here smelling like frankincense and myrrh, you going to get us kicked out, man. Tone down on the shea butter. Now, I'm joking.
Real.
I'm joking because, we all use it, but it's a time and a place for everything. Because even, Dale Carnegie, when you mention Dale Carnegie, anytime you read books about success, they always talk about them because it is a spell. You have to hypnotize yourself to become successful, just like they hypnotize you to be unsuccessful and be impoverished and live in perpetual fear. That's why we always encourage our folks, shake the victimhood mentality. Because if you really knew our story, you knew that we overcome so much that whatever challenge you think you have today, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing you can't overcome. Our ancestors went through some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you no white man that ever beat me up. I'm just be honest with you. Unless the police, and they just roughed me up. They never beat me up. They roughed me up, sprayed a little mace in my face. But now ask me how many other folks I put my hands on. So that's not my story. Nobody said, hey, boy, go across the street. Because we thumping. Plain and simple. But I say that, right, sis? Because I want folks to really tap into their own power, their own ability to get back into the position of kingship and queenship. We really got to start shaking this and get back into these spaces and reclaim our story. That's our stuff in there. Like she showed you the book, those black folks in there. Got you feeling like Richard Pryor in that skit. Hey, Jack, these black folks in here. You know what I'm saying? But we don't go to these spaces. We keep good mentality. But I'm off my soapbox.
The rumor said not the shea butter. For real. Like, come on, man. Wardrobe is a science.
Say it again.
Wardrobe is a science. It is an act of war. That's why the first three letters of the word is war. So you don't come, as Brother Tad said, with your uniform when you ain't on the battlefield. Stop. When you go into these places, that's where you wear your Eddie Bauer, your Lands End, and your Patagonia.
Sister Keisha, I'm coming with my monocle on. Guess all.
We don't know what that is. We don't know what that is.
You don't know what a monocle is?
A monocle is a small piece of matter.
No, that's a molecule. I said a monocle.
Knock it off, Black. He's starting already. Listen, family, we gotta move on a little, but we're gonna go either the first. Hold on. We're gonna either go the first or second week in December. Next Thursday we won't be on because I hope that some of y'all spend some time with your family or chill out, because that's what I'm gonna do. And then my cousin Tashima watching, you tell Sean to get that cash ready because I'm coming for all his bread. When we play cards and we gamble, I don't play. I come for bread. I don't play. Sister Keisha go heavy.
Space poker or pity pat? Which one is this, sis? Space poker or pity pat?
Both. Spades and pity pat. Yeah, that Sean. Come with that bread. I'm not playing with you. Listen. All bread on the table. But anyway, That's a family joke. But anyway, again, we're going to try to go the 7th or the 14th. I'll let you guys know for sure on the 5th when we return back here live. So put those, excuse me, either the 7th or the 14th. I believe I have an engagement on the 14th, but I'll give you a definite answer on the 5th when we return. So we can meet up down there. It's on it's Madison between 36th and 37th. The whole block. So the whole block. So you'll know when you pull up. You'll see people lining up outside. But anyway, I'm looking forward to going with you guys. And then, we'll go to the Historical Society another day and until we get it all done. All right. So now moving on to the second part of our program. Today in 2024, I see a lot of you doing some old things that just don't work no more. When I go in the stores, I'm seeing a lot of our folks. This is a digital age in a digital world, and you moving in the analog world and you being left behind. How you get your information, you're being left behind. I don't got time for that. Don't invite me nowhere and you in the year of 1989, as far as technology is concerned, I don't want to go. I don't want to be around. And when everybody is 70 and above, I don't want to be around either. I'm sorry, but it's problematic. It's problematic. So we're going to have to do some different things. I see my screen is frozen, but I guess you guys could still hear me. But okay, y'all can hear me. Don't worry about that. Every time I get ready to pull up Brother Black stuff, I have problems. So I'm hoping that we don't have this issue tonight. But I want to show y'all some things. It doesn't matter. When I open no, don't resend me nothing. When I open this blog spot from your Facebook, I'm gonna have to mute you. There's always a problem. But I guess it's the apparatus, right, that you're using. StreamYard rejects it for some reason, but we're gonna make it work tonight. So I wanted y'all to talk about some of the things that you're doing using technology today in your movements, in the groups that you belong to, the businesses that you have, how you're using technology today. So for example, years ago, you would have to watch a video, record it using another device to upload it if you wanted to. No, you don't have to do none of that stuff anymore. There are apparatuses that'll do it for you. And a lot of you in the movements and you have your groups and you wonder why you don't get large turnouts is because you're doing things very old. And I'm sorry. And you have to be consistent with technology. And a lot of you aren't consistent with technology. You just aren't. And you are going to have to catch up with the rest of the world. So I want to try to bring up Brother Black's page first. Let me see if I can bring up his page. In the meantime, while I do that, Brother Black, you could talk to the audience about Melanin Institute blog spot and what it is that you provide in that apparatus. Because we got a lot of writers out here and they don't know what apparatuses they can use in helping them or in aiding them in the written word. So
okay.
Go ahead. You talk and I'll try to pull it up while you do so.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Melanin institute.blogspot.com and all straight through spelling, no trick words, no slashes or what have you, is a blog that I've been doing since 2009. For those of you out there who are interested in writing, there are too many apparatuses you can use to host your blog, which would be the two biggest is Blogger and WordPress, and they're free. Most of you who know about the technology enough, and maybe some of you older guys who don't, may want to know that you can post videos. For the most part, I don't write too many articles anymore because I can always find a video that can refer to so much more, and you can listen to it as opposed to sitting and reading it. So that's a good way to start if you're a serious writer and you love writing and it's in you to write. I suggest online publishing. I have 2 books. Sister Keisha's read it, and we talk about it on the show on a regular level. Before we sign off today, I'll remind you all of the name and the Melanin Institute blogspot again. And just get out there and, find the passion.
I put the link in the chat so everybody can get access to it. And this is actually his blog, family. So it'll lead you right there. Go ahead, Brother Black. Go ahead.
Right. So if for those of you who want to write, or they're not even write necessarily, but express yourself, and there's podcasting. There's so many ways. Podcast is different from YouTube now. A podcast is a website that you own, where you more than likely will be giving people your commentary, political, religious, what have you. You know what I'm saying? Financial, people that speak about Bitcoin and, all the various forms of cryptocurrency and the BRICS and gold and silver markets, what blah, blah, on and on and on. Anything you can write about, anything you can make a movie about, you can also podcast about it and teach people or solicit other people's videos and put them on there. So the technology, for the most part, is very user-friendly. So if you have a hard time dealing with technology in this day and age, and we're talking about electronics, so email and YouTube and Facebook and Google and Amazon and most of the major sites that people can access everywhere, get you a young kid who knows how to maneuver the web to teach you. And you have to have patience because they're young. They're going to move fast. Even myself, and I don't consider myself an elder just yet, but I'm probably older than most of y'all listening. So, I have to humble myself, learn from them, and then to ask them to slow down when they go too fast so that they can show me how to do it, so I can show somebody else how to do it. And if we all just give a little something of ourselves, everybody can learn anything. As well, real quick, don't be afraid of learning a new language in this day and age. You have Google Translate. You can talk into it, and if whatever language you are pointed to, you can talk to somebody in a foreign country. So for those of you who believe you need travel in your life, get you a passport and don't be afraid to go. If you wanted to go there, you can afford it and you have the time now, go before you get old and unable, and you can talk through that thing. You don't have to learn the language. And it would even be greater if you learn the language just enough to say what you want to eat, hello, thank you, those kind of words, because you have Google Translate. And from there you go. So, that's my level of expertise to teach all about some of the technology. Technology is who we are. So don't believe we're not technological, because most of us aren't in tech. We built them pyramids and nobody still figured out. Peace.
I have to say thanks to Gen Z because they have put technology in the forefront, and they teach us. Them and the millennials teach us on how to move this thing forward. So you got to give props where props is due. And they always getting a bad rap for behaviors, but they are trendsetters as far as technology is concerned. Now we're going to move to Sister Marcia, Africans on the Rise. We're going to try to pull up her IG page. Oh, I can. And we'll let Sister Marcia take it from there. Sister Marcia, talk about Africans on the Rise and what it is that you're doing and how you use technology in your endeavors.
Oh, thank you. Look at my little people. They are the young Kandakis and the young kings of Africans on the Rise. Africans on the Rise is the vision is for it to be a housing place for intergenerational conversation to be had with the children. Peer-to-peer conversations too. 7 and 14-year-olds have conversations and can share knowledge with one another. If you think of old schoolhouses that our ancestors were in, children 5 to 55 was in there. If they wanted to learn something, the space was open. So that's the vision for African on the Rise. So we also take them on museum tours, with the help of Sister Keisha most of the times, and any elder that we recruit, actually. We have been fortunate enough to have plenty of elders, Jednas, come through and have conversation with the young people and spark their minds. So how I use social media to conversate is to let people know when things are happening. I don't overindulge this space for African on the Rise too much, but I'll let people know when things are happening that they're participating in. And I try to have them, sometimes I gotta beg these people to do the work, but I try to have them do a video review of the spaces that we go to, because their voice is the most powerful voice. And we know that they're receiving the information. In order for us to, this is Baba Tashango and them from last week. These are a couple of events that are coming up. Oh, that's, yeah, let that roll. If we could go back a little bit to young Kandake had her room. Oh no. Oh, that's Mama D. Those are the boys. They're young men now. Can't call them boys. That's a museum tour that we participated in. This is during Spike Lee's exhibit last December.
Let me know which image you want me to rest on.
I want to go back to the video of the young Kandake with Frederick Douglass. Right here. Thank you.
Experience and what we learned at New York's Historical Society. First, we learned about fashion in the 18th century. Something that stood out to me was learning about the Negro cloth. Negro cloth or Lowell cloth was a coarse and strong cloth used for slaves' clothing in the West Indies and the southern colonies. The cloth was imported from Europe in the 18th and 19th centuries. Did you know that enslaved people built many of the streets and structures of 17th century New York? The slave trade and the cotton economy remained important in Manhattan for 2 centuries. Although New York State finally abolished human bondage in 1827, the city profited from trade with the slave states until the Civil War. Another key detail that I've learned and realized is the indigo symbols from our ancestors being carved, bent, or folded into gates or any furniture that we still see to this day, which shows me that our people are creators of most things that we see in our everyday life. Some of us just don't notice it. I also learned that the 13 arrows in the middle represents the 13 colonies. We're also at my peace. I'm young.
So that's just a snippet of her report analysis. And, you know, it's really great to hear what they learn, even though we threw so much information at them at that one particular time, to see what the retention, to see what the retention process is important for us to know how to, you know, tailor events and tailor who's going to what event. But it's really, really important that we are able to have these intergenerational conversations about our story. So many of us don't know stories, so we learn together. And this is the premise behind Africans on the Rise. Everybody learns together. There is no one wiser than the other. When you come, you know, we do Zoom right now, but whenever we come into a room, no one is smarter than anyone else. We are learning. There's so much lost information, whether you're looking at, you know, New York, California, Grenada, anywhere, Guyana, anywhere, there is so much, and let alone the continent is a whole nother skew of lost information. We are here. We must learn about one another, to build one another, because this is a blue flame. It's about to erupt. And if we don't know how to get along together and build, we are screwed. We've seen it happen to groups of people in front of our eyes, in front of our ancestors' eyes. Groups of people were annihilated. Let that not be us. Let us learn how to forge ways, build a mission, build a purpose, and go forth.
Love it, love it, love it. Follow Africans on the Rise on Instagram. And Marcia grow food, y'all, too. She ain't talk about that part, but I'm just saying, she got her
And I have
agriculture. Go ahead,
and I
sis.
have the babies growing food too. So,
Whoa.
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I have not posted, but the children have been growing food for the past 5 years. Now they think they're grown men. They don't want to grow food. They're like 16, basketball, college is looking up for them. So, we have to curtail the segments differently for them as well, but for them to be able to share with the younger ones in front of them. It's a whole process, but we all grow food. We need to grow our food because look what's happening to the carrots. Thank the Lord I grew some carrots. I got my own carrots.
For real, for real. And I had some of her peppers too. So y'all better stop playing with me, even though Mr. Forrester took them all. But anyway, he greedy. He greedy.
Sister Marcia, you gonna
Hey, Sister Keisha, you ain't no victim. How you gonna let him rob you like that?
He bigger than me. He from Jamaica. I don't mess with him. Go ahead.
And that's her husband. Happy house, happy spouse. Everyone's
Sister
happy.
Uh-oh, Sister Keisha said with her. She mad. Shout out to
No,
Sister Keisha.
don't play with Sister Keisha. Sister Keisha lie. Sister Keisha live up the block around the corner from me, and she never want to roll. Oh yeah, I'm coming. I come in. Whatever. You stay with it. I never bought my vegetable. You ain't want it. Please. You're down the block around the corner.
You saying Sister Keisha robbed your wings? You think we
Not
ain't
me,
noticed?
the other Sister Keisha. Not me. Other Sister Keisha from Black United Fund. Not me. Sorry. But we gonna move on. We gotta move on to Brother Tad. Brother Tad is a business owner. He is the owner of fitness a company. He is the Better Days Ahead Fitness. He is the owner and co-founder of OG Wisdom Podcast. Brother Tad, he do a whole lot of things for a whole lot of people.
Yeah,
but Brother Tad, yeah, I understand that. That's another thing that our people don't like, especially in the movement. Let me tell you something. It's a 2-letter word, but it has so much power. No. Yeah. And I'm using no a lot because I can't with y'all. I can't. I just can't. So anyway, but moving on to Brother Tad, co-founder of OG Wisdom Podcast with C Gutter. Shout out to C Gutter.
Yeah.
But Brother Tad, let the people know how technology has helped you in your progression in your business and what it is that you want to do in the future and how our people can use it.
Well, it's funny you say that, Sister Keisha, because I've been working for the past few weeks on programs and challenges. So Better Days Ahead Fitness came about back during the pandemic when everybody was on lockdown. As Brother Anunnaki and I knew that it was coming because the Starship had alerted us that in 2020 there was going to be a pandemic and the whole planet was going to be shut down, right? But I still panicked. And I kid you not, one day I was laying in the house. I was, everything's on lockdown. I'm laying in the bed. My anxiety's through the roof. And the spirit said, yo, just go work out online, because remember the gyms were closed. So I did a workout online. I said, you know what? I'll be cool if I get like 10 people. I thought it'd probably be 6 to tune in. And no lie, about 500 people was on my stream. Work out. Oh yeah, that was in Miami. I did a lot of videos in different states. That's me doing burpees in Miami. So what I did, Sister Keisha, is I went online, did about an hour workout, And the people loved it. They said, yo, would you be doing this tomorrow? I mean, we wasn't going nowhere. I was like, sure. And somebody sent me some money, my cousin. She said, yo, start your business. Start your business. And you know, I hired a lawyer because I wanted my things done properly. I wanted my system. I wanted everything to be done properly. So shout out to Pam Hamilton. She actually has a page called Build a Biz, and she was inspired to do this during the pandemic. But that's what started it, and the people loved it, you know. So I was doing workouts in the park. That's me in Far Rockaway working out. I was doing classes in that's Prospect Park in Connecticut, Coney Island, and on Staten Island. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to there. Yeah,
That's
so
Tad
that's
Relic, huh?
yeah, I'm parallels a little bit, you know, but that's what started Better Days Ahead Fitness, which is like with any business, it has its ups and its downs, it has ebbs and flows, it has high season, low season, but it's all about life transformation. And again, like I said, outside of doing the workout, Sister Keisha, I'm tailoring it for life coaching services as well, because folks who know me from when I was in the streets, they always ask, how did I change? Particularly my brothers who've been locked up and they came home, who remember when we all went in the streets together. They say, yo, you look different, you talk different, but you're the same. Like, you still the same Tad I remember, but you different. Because I've always been committed to friendships and relationships, and we don't always have to agree, but you know, I'm still gonna hold you down, you know. And this is the OG Wisdom Podcast page.
What up, what up, what up, and what up? Salute to my brothers. Absolutely. Gunner, what up? Tad, what up? My brother Tad. What we doing? Make sure you check out the OG Wisdom Podcast. You know what I mean? We're in it live and raw from a Balagoon. Good show, my niggas. I love y'all.
Most of our leaders come out of organizations. You have to be a part of an organization to be an effective leader. But how do we determine if you're an effective leader if you don't organize the people? You can't just grab the mic or your phone, get on YouTube and say, yo, I'm a good leader because I think I'm a good leader. You have to have a track record of organizing people, setting goals and agendas and getting them done.
Politicians I don't really like. Activism is different because, you know, you got a goal. It has nothing to do with politics. When you are activist, you know, it's for your people.
Make sure y'all get ready to tune in to my brother, my big brother, C Gutter and Tad, new podcast, OG Wisdom. Better tune in that. A lot of jewels, a lot of knowledge, a lot of lifestyle, a lot of street talk, a lot of hood tales, real stories. Check it out. OG Wisdom, Tad, C Gutter.
My favorite part is
Hotel family, you are tuned in to the OG Wisdom Podcast, the knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. Hotel family.
Yeah, so that there I did myself. You're muted, sis.
Yeah, I wanted you to, because, you know, I see a lot of information, right? Like, for example, right, we just had an event that Simo Tap put on that took place this past Saturday with the barber that Sister Marcia mentioned and Professor Gloria J. Blount Marshall. Now, I see some flyers and stuff that come out. It's so antiquated. I'm sorry. It's annoying when it's cluttered. This is how, listen, organizations have to run like a business. That means that you have to make sure your pedigree is up to par to handle tasks, right? When I see some of these web flyers that come out and it's cluttered, it already annoys me. I'm not even reading it because it's too much. It's too much. And if I'm to pass it on, I want people to be able to grasp what it is that you're saying or doing and hold it and keep it moving. Like Sister Marcia said, what are they going to retain? If you send out a web flyer or an email and it got 20 something things on it, delete. First of all, it's bulk email and it's getting deleted. So you got to stop that. But Brother Tad, talk about this and how you did it.
Well, Sister Keisha, I am not tech savvy. I am not my cousin Doggy Diamonds. I am not tech savvy. But what I did do is I like to invest in myself. And as much as we can sit and read the books about history, we definitely have to catch up on modern times. That's one of the things I said before, you know, the difference between the ancestors we revere and us right now. Our ancestors always look towards the future. They were aware of the past, but everything they talked about was to move the people forward. So I decided to invest time into learning programs on how do we become relevant. You know what I'm saying? How do we make it palatable for young people to get them engaged? So I decided to enroll in YouTube University. And instead of looking at a lecture, I just decided to look at, well, what's new in this space. And let me tell you, with AI right now, there's always a new program. So it's hard to keep abreast. You just get your 2 to 5 programs that you really want to use and rock out with that. You could be distracted by all the new programs because all of them are still a business and trying to get you to invest in their program. They'll say, oh, this is better than chat, this is better than this is better than that. And one thing I learned, Sister Keisha, is that each program is always updating itself anyway.
Yes.
So this I did with Canva because when I first got into Canva, Canva didn't do videos. So I've learned the logo was created by Doggy, but I've learned how to turn it into you know, just post it all over the place. Turn it into a watermark. Canva helps you do these things. And I think it's important that us as Brother Black's not an elder. I consider myself an elder. I got grandchildren in all these grades. You know, in the streets, when you hit 30, you old. You hit 35, you washed up in the streets, and I'm over 50. So I'm
now you unk, right?
I'm sorry?
You unk now, right?
I'm a punk. You said no, look. Let him think I'm a punk. Because grandpa still could do 20 pull-ups at the drop of a hat. You seen them burpees, right? Yeah. Yeah, they don't got the endurance and stuff like that. And I think what I didn't mention, which is it's funny, Sister Keisha, I just completed a marathon a couple of weeks ago. I did a virtual marathon, and I just got selected today to do the New York City half marathon because I haven't been running lately. So you put yourself in the drawing, and I was selected to do it. So I'm blessed and flavored, but but Canva, but Canva.
Cut his mic, Sister Keisha. Cut his mic.
But Canva, you could do videos. They have stock videos. They have what is that? When you could use the free music. They have free music you can use. And what I did, sis, is I tinkered and I went to YouTube and just watched videos how to do this, how to do that. And I said, oh, really? And I just tinker with it. And there's some things I'm learning right now that is so phenomenal. And I'm not talking about just Chat GPT because Chat GPT is a game changer, you know, but as Sister Keisha showed us also, it can be corrected, you know. So don't put all your faith and your stock in these electronics. It's only going to enhance the ideas you already have. Just have a great idea, know what you want it to look like, and work on that. And I think this is something that we really need to focus on right now. You know, it's good to learn our story. I love our story, and I will always stand 10 toes down on our story. But we also had to add to our arsenal proficiency in technology. Shout out to our brother Q Butter and brother Marcus Klein and all the people who are teaching our young people STEM and STEAM. You know, this is very important because they're preparing the children for the future. I'm gonna say this real quick, Sister Keisha, brother Black. Marcia too young for this, right? But I always say we were prepared for a world that no longer exists. we were the children that was outside in the 70s and 80s. And I remember in public school when they said in the future, everybody's going to have a computer in their home. And back then we thought computer was for rich people. But who would knew back then as children that we literally be walking around with computers in our pockets? You can't see it because the green screen. Yeah. But who knew we'd be walking with computers in our pocket? A phone that could take pictures, watch movies, talk to somebody on the other side of the world in real time. Because when we was kids, you communicated with letters, but we could literally see somebody in real time in China, Africa, whole nother time zone. And this is a person I follow. And if y'all ain't up on her, watch
Me
her.
too.
Follow her. Follow her.
Me too. Don't forget Opus too, Brother Tad.
Yes. Yes.
Opus, I used to Brother Tad. He the one put me on the Opus to cut up videos and make them into shorts with
have to do
nothing. You don't have to do nothing. And learning from her. Also, another tool that I use is Adobe Express. It kind of puts you in the mind of Canva a little bit. I like Adobe Express. Is easy for me anyway. I use that. I use Suno. When I did the music, I use Suno. But you also gotta remember you gotta pay for certain things, right? So it depends on what it is that your business is putting out. We're in media, so these type of platforms are relevant for me. When you want to put out a video, let's say the BK William Mackey History Club, use Opus. You can make your videos into shorts and get more views so you can get more attention. Let's listen to this influencer and we'll come right back. Her name is Nikki. Hold on.
Fake AI influencer with this tool. Let me show you which one. So this is HeyGen. This is the back situation of HeyGen. What you're supposed to do is copy a URL. It's supposed to go like this, generate video. So you get to pick the template, avatar, and music.
Stop scrolling. Want to boost your vitality with just 2 spoonfuls a day? But Mama CMOS gel from the Transformation Factory is the ultimate superfood you've been missing.
What do we think about this? 1 to 10? What do we think? I just made a fake AI
Here's a secret, insane AI site that will make you a millionaire in 2024. Magica.ai will build you any app that you want. Let's say you want to build an investing app that provides insights on stocks with an interface for trading. I'm going to click run again, and it's going to build the entire program for you in seconds. Look at that. You can publish the app, and there we have it. An entire app with the click of a button. It'll ask you, what financial insights can I give you today? I want recession-proof stocks, and boom, it just gave us recession-proof stocks in seconds. $1 million business. Make sure you like and follow for more.
You can now create epic cinematic videos of yourself using AI, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I love it. Makes me look like a movie star. Not all of us can be as good looking as old Dylan back there. Some of us could use a little AI. Don't ask. First step, head over to lets.ai, create a free account, and choose Create AI Model. You can make it available for everybody to use or just you. Give your model a name. You're going to need it to prompt. Then you want to upload 5 to 10 images of you. The more detailed, diverse, and higher the quality, the better results you're going to get. And once the model's trained, you can prompt yourself into anything you can imagine. This was my prompt. Notice how you have to mention the model name in order to act.
I wanted to stop this for a second because using this tool, like for example, for those of you who send out web flyers, right, you can actually have an AI generated depiction of yourself and send out notifications, right, to your viewers or whoever it is that you want to bring to your event or what have you. These are the type of tools that you guys could use in your arsenal. Even like for our branding videos, right? I totally AI generated people in those videos. None of these people, let me show you.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight.
None of these people are real. But
in the air. Change your mind, change your flair.
I just wanted to show y'all that, but none of these people are real. None of these people that I put in these videos, I don't know them. They don't exist, right? So you can tell AI using an apparatus like Adobe Express. I use Adobe Express to create those videos. Telling them what I want the people to look like and what I want them to be doing. They will give you a queue of videos that you can use for yourselves. So again, that only took me, I don't know, less than an hour to do. So again, family, you got to use technology today. I'm sorry, but the way some of y'all moving, I don't got time, and it annoys the hell out of me. So I can't. And now, like I said, we go into the museum in a couple of weeks. Go online. I'll tell you the day we going. You go online and you book your reservation. Do not show up to the Morgan building without an advance ticket, because you might not get in. But if you don't know how to do that, I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm not. I'm going to tell you where to go. You go to the website and you book your ticket, period. I don't got time to show you step by step what to do. Don't call me. No, it annoys me. So even in employment, I see a lot of people who come in for jobs and, you can't master Excel. I can't talk to you. Like this interview is going nowhere. So we have to know how to use technology and add it to our arsenal, especially as we move progressively
further into this world, right? Because 20 years ago when I came in, or 15 years ago when I returned, and I'm coming out of publishing, I come back into community. I'm like, let's do this. Oh no, sister, we can't do that, sister. We can't touch that. And I feel that this is giving our elders the gap that they're experiencing right now. This is why their flyers look the way they do. And when you say, let me help you, one, they don't want the help, or two, you're like, well, I just need to pay my light bill. Make sure my light bill is paid. They look at you like you're crazy. This is in this environment right now. There has to be a lot more. I don't want to call it reciprocity, but we need to aid each other as much as possible. And compensation is needed. Like, you can't expect someone
I'm not doing nothing. Let me make it clear. I'm not doing nothing for free. Nothing.
That's right.
Like Sister Marcia said, you can't even pay my light bill for me. I can do this work for you, but I'm not doing it for free.
Right. And what will take you a week or two would take one of us maybe 30 minutes. And then they're like, oh, well, I got to pay you a light bill for 30 minutes of work. Dude, go somewhere else and you see how much they're asking for the same amount of work.
Let me tell you something. Hold on, sister. We in a corporate world, right? Let's say in the fashion industry where I work, a media content creator gets paid a minimum 80 grand. Minimum. And you want people to do it for you free? Nah, son.
And so 80 grand is a salary, but you're talking about just a couple of hours of work. That's $250. Just give that. Oh, well, they just did it in 30 minutes. That's not your problem how long it took. That's their skill. That's why they went to school. That's why they did all the back end training that they did to have the skills that they had. And you're disrespecting it because it's not a PhD in flaw. Bump you, because PhDers are thugging it out worse some of the time. So let's just be honest.
Check this out. What if this happens? Let's say all this crazy talk I be talking happens and we have a solar flash and there's no electricity for 6 months. What do we do?
That same skill, that same digital art skill can be translated into paper. We work by word of mouth. We work by paper like our ancestors used to do. We know how to read, so we don't need smoke signals. Back in We the people that want to get action done.
Okay, so you're talking
Because
about the
Mr. Anunnaki just said that the Flash is here. We don't have no access to technology. I'm telling you what we do.
I didn't say technology. Did they use? Hold on. Did they use electricity to build the pyramids?
No. Or how do I know?
No, I'm about to say we don't.
How do I know? They use electricity in a different form. They use something in a different form. Energy is energy.
I said plug in something the way we know electricity today. I ain't talking about that energy.
Right.
That
but
hold on.
Brother Black.
Go ahead, Black. Go ahead. No, listen, Black. Go ahead.
Because the reason why I ask, I want to go back a little bit because I wanted to ask this question: who constructed that Morgan Museum?
John Pierpont Morgan did.
Okay, it looks like a Tartarian structure, and it looked like it had free energy roaming through it at one time. I'm just saying.
It probably is. It's on sacred Lenape ground, so it probably is. And that's another thing that people overlook. And I brought that point to Sister Marcia. When you enter, they give acknowledgement if they're on holy ground, but people walk right past that. So it could be. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. There is some information on the architecture of the building. It was passed down from his father to him. And but as far as the maintenance of it and how it was preserved, that came by way of the first director.
Right. The reason why I say that, Sister Marcia, and I'm gonna let you have the floor back. Free energy is technology that's been in existence probably millions of years, and we're gonna get that back with the Tesla stuff that was hidden, that Donald Trump's uncle took from Tesla's hotel room right before he passed away. That is a fact, or at least as the book says.
Well, so now Donald Trump is making good being friends with Elon Musk. I don't care. All I'm saying is that there are going to be a lot of ways for us to make do when we're not used to the original set, when we're not used to our modern set of knowledge. Our capabilities are there, they were there, they are there, and they will continue to be there. So I am not afraid of when the Flash comes and the Anunnaki comes and they tell me yada, yada, yada. I'm going to say, well, I'm here to do yada, yada, yada for my people because that's my mission. That's my purpose. I'm here for the people.
Sister Marcia, and I agree with you 100%. And what I want to add on to that is a lot of time with people, as you said, the knowledge, we don't realize how much knowledge is antiquated because we only have a specialized field in a particular space. So for many of our folks, we focus on Black studies, Black history, which is excellent. But if we really focused on our studies, we'd realize that all this stuff about energy and building is also our stuff that we researching and connecting. Like you said, plug and socket, as Brother Black said, plug and socket electricity. But again, we got to remember about electromagnetism and things like that. How salt water is a beautiful conductor. Salt water, copper, and magnets. You'd be surprised what you could do with that stuff. There's a book called The Ankh by Ben-Nur Ankh-Amun. And it talked about how the Ankh was the original electromagnetic battery. And it actually shows you how to use the Ankh as a battery. And we know battery gives life to electronics, devices, and machines. So the Ankh is not just life as we call it, with the fallopian tube and the penis and all. Also,
it's energy.
Right.
It's energy that gives off more than what we know today. But should that time come and we are the chosen people, the Anunnaki is going to open our gateway, open our third eye and be like, yo, here you go. Here's your knowledge. Don't sit there and try to discourage the people. I'm sorry, Brother Todd.
No, I want to say this real quick. The time is now. I was a Boy Scout troop leader from 1998 98 or 99 to 2001, so for a few years, and these things we had to learn. How do you survive without modern technology? And then when we talk about our ancestors, like they didn't have the stuff we have. They didn't have laptops and keyboards, and Harriet Tubman ain't called nobody on a cell phone and use a GPS like how I'm gonna get to Canada. Like there was, and we have to tap back into that. And that's why, as we were saying earlier, we often want people to rely on themselves. You are the power that you're looking for. You are that helping hand that you're looking for. We just have to stop being distracted with so much stuff. Learn how to utilize this equipment. I'm not against money. I hear people say, yo, it's a capitalistic society. All right, then give me all the money you don't want. Any of the money you got that you don't want.
And so what? It's a capitalist society. Mm-hmm.
It's a tool. It's not the end be all. It is a tool. Just like a hammer. I got a hammer right outside in the toolbox. I got a drill. I'm not using it right now, but when I need it, it's there. Same thing for money. I'm not using money right now, but when I need some, I need some to be around. We have to start changing our minds and ideas about what these things are that exist in our realm of awareness, if that makes any sense. The things we talk about as history, sometimes we like to regurgitate facts, but how is that relative to today? I love that Sister Keisha does it and bring it back. Everybody talk about Republican, Democrat this year, but she told you who was the founder of the Republican Party and why was it founded and what was their platform? What was their, what would you call it? What's their mission statement? Like, what are they all about? And when you find that out, then you know what you're dealing with today and they really can't dupe you. That's the purpose of history, not just to say you know who did it, but how do you utilize it today? The purpose of technology is to move you forward in the future, make things a little more convenient so you have more time to do things that's valuable to you, your family, your life, and your community. We gotta start realizing, putting things in this proper perspective and reading and thinking outside of that. Yo, what Dr. Ray used to say, the space in this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is depicted within this circle. I must keep in mind there's more to know than what's within the circumference of my awareness. That's it. We don't know it all. We're sharing. That's why it's 4 of us and not just one being the know-it-all. But we encourage you as well to get involved, to get engaged, to think deeper, to think further, think outside the barriers of what you perceive to be your reality. Because there's more to know. What we know right now ain't going to be nothing compared to what we're going to learn in the next 5 years from now. And even then, we're still going to continue to learn. AI is going to be so different. In fact, Sister Keisha, I meant to ask you real quick. Have y'all ever seen the Laurel Yanny experiment? Sister Keisha, pull that up real quick. It's a freak. I can't even say it's a word. It's a frequency. You can pull it up on YouTube or something. Everybody hears something different. We're all listening to the same thing, but everyone hears something different. And I want the people in the chat to tell us what they hear as we talk about what we hear, because this is something we need to be mindful of AI.
You said the Laurel Yanny?
Laurel Yanny. Laurel Yanny.
All right.
And if you could play it for people to hear,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to what people hear. Let me know when you got it.
Okay. Give me 1 second, family. I'll pull it up.
Yeah,
hold on. I got it.
All right. Because what I'm saying is that everybody hears things different. So sometimes we have to question ourselves.
All right, here we go. We're going to play it. Here we go.
Laurel, 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 Laurel.
It's just going to keep repeating. So now, type in the chat what you heard. I want the people in the chat to type what they heard.
Put in the chat while you heard, and I'll keep playing. It's about 30 more seconds. Here we go.
Laurel, 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 Laurel.
So what are y'all hearing? What are y'all hearing? Somebody said, oh, hold on. Laurel. Somebody said Laura. Or Laurel. Laurel. Go ahead. Brother Tad, let the people know what it is that they are hearing.
Everybody hears something different. I heard Laurel. Some people hear Yanni.
Mm-hmm.
Some people hear Brother Black.
There was
Brother Black, what did you hear?
You're muted, brother. Hold on. Let me see. There you go.
I heard Laurel.
Okay. Sister Keisha?
Yanni.
You heard Yanni?
I did.
See? And what everybody else said they heard.
Laurel.
Ain't that Sister Marcia, what did you hear?
I heard Laurel.
See?
But they also say that it's your hearing too that determines what you're hearing, right? So sometimes, like if you put the volume all the way up while it's saying it, you may hear Yanni. It's the octave of the speaker, they say. But either which way, we're hearing something. At least,
But
they're not hearing.
The point I was making, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just we hear things differently. Because a lot of people do hear Yanni. My children put me onto this experiment years ago. They said, Daddy, what do you hear? And I said, Laurel. They said, you don't hear Yanni? I said, y'all hear Yanni? And that's what it is. Dog hear Yanni. Dog hears Yanni. And it is just so funny. And I say that because even with AI, because that's an old experiment. In fact, they even had it on the billboard by the Barclays, Sister Keisha, over the Chick-fil-A on Flatbush, the Laurel Yanni, back years ago. On how many people hear Laurel, how many people hear Yanni. This was a real thing. And those in the chat, play it for your family at home. Just a little fun experiment, just for us to question everything we think we know. Remember, this circle depicts all that I think I know about whatever I think I know. Because sometimes we hear things and we don't always hear what we think we hear. And that's where misunderstanding and miscommunication comes in. And with this AI, I want us to be careful too. I want us to be intentional, be mindful of everything we put out there and how we try to communicate to people, because things can get lost in translation, like bad text messages. Somebody will text you, you might read it the wrong way and think they're coming at you, and then you throw a dart, and then you go back and look at the message like, oh shit, I read that wrong. My bad. But you just said something personal about them in your response. And like, nah, hold up. You really feel like that? But I mean, I say that because when we go into this space of knowledge, information, communication, we have to be intentional because we're in a tricky space right now. Because this is Laurel and Yanni. That's just frequency. I'm not saying it's Laurel. I'm not saying it's Yanni. Those are two different words. They don't sound similar at all, but we hear it different. And sometimes when people are communicating with us, we got to know what the real intention is. You know what I mean? And just be open-minded about a lot of things. Don't be fooled now. That's the main thing. Don't be fooled, but keep an open mind, because as we move forward, us as a community, Black folks, we see the world is moving rapidly right around us. Brother black people is in their spaceships underwater. They floating in the skies, causing lightning fights. I don't know when they're coming down. I might not know how to communicate with them. They might be saying Yanni and I'm talking Laurel. I just want to be on the right page. Like, look, y'all know my dude Anunnaki? That's my bro. Tell him
I'm with him. We with him.
Yeah, we
with him.
Nanu. Save us.
I wanted to, before we close out, when you talk about unsung heroes, right? Remember that time we had a straight Black Pride convention, I believe in DC, Brother Tad, me, you, and Ashe. Was it DC or Atlanta? I can't remember. But the three of us were together. We stayed at the Marriott, I believe.
We're gonna travel so much.
I know. I think we stayed at the Marriott. We definitely stayed at the Marriott. But I know you remember this. Our room was like less than $50 or something like that when we booked.
Right.
But anyway, it was K Rush 409 who made it happen for us.
We
That's why
appreciate it.
that's why our room was so inexpensive. But I say
That's
all that to say is that when you research history, right, it's very important that you know the intricate parts of that people play in your history. And you have to give respect where respect is due, right? But again, we stayed at a 5-star hotel and we paid less than $50 for our hotel room. But he was the one who made it happen. So again, you never know who those unsung heroes are. We had to get down there. I gotta tell the truth. Brother Tad and Ashe was late to the airport. I'm just telling y'all that right now.
We took a plane?
We took a plane. Ashe was messing with the stewardess.
Yes. Talking about Ethiopian food. She was feeling Brother Ashe.
Yes.
He was talking.
He was about to be a part of the Mile High Club, boy. She was feeling Ashe heavy, boy, heavy. She was pressing heavy. But yeah, so that was a trip that we went on.
So that wasn't DC then.
I think it was Atlanta. I think.
Yeah, it had to be Atlanta.
Right? Because we
drove to DC.
We drove to DC.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was the one who made it happen. So I just wanted to put that out there because when the book comes out and y'all see, well, who are all the people that made things happen for Sister Keisha? Well, I'm just telling you. So again, you don't know who's going to step in where. And this is what I'm saying. When you have a fight for liberal, this is a trip, we had to be there. So, we want to spend as little money as possible.
Yeah.
But, we worked it out and we did what we had to do and we made it happen, period. Matter of fact, Brother Tad, it wasn't when we flew. It was when we drove to DC. It was DC.
Okay.
It was DC because I remember we was congregating in the lobby for several hours.
Okay.
Down there. But anyway, it was to DC. But again, you got to know who these unsung heroes are in the fight. Some people can be in the forefront. They like to do stuff in the background, but a lot of people don't talk about them. Everybody knows the greatness of John Pierpont Morgan, but nobody barely knows about Belle DeCosta Green, who made all of those collections that he have in his arsenal happen. And she was a force to be reckoned with. Here you have a black woman passing for white, because her mother was so afraid of what would happen to her children that she raised them to believe that, they should move and hide who their true identity was. And very, very interesting read. I would recommend Personal Librarian. They have it on audiobook too. But or you can listen to it, but it's a very, very interesting story of hers. And just to know, she is the daughter of the first black man to graduate from Harvard, and he played a critical role in the civil rights movement of the 1870s. He was very good friends with Willie Du Bois. Y'all like to call him W.E.B., but people who knew him, if you read their journals and writings, you will see they referred to him as Willie. So nobody called him W.E.B. Nobody called him that. But anyway, his friends ain't call him that. That ain't even sound right. But like again, when you study history, look at different facets, look at the time period that it took place, whatever it is that you're studying. And don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and enter into spaces that have information that you may be seeking, because you can't get everything through Google. I'm sorry. You can't get everything online. Like I said, I showed you a picture of the wooden cross of Jesus Christ. You ain't going to find that. You may find a picture of it, but to actually see what that wood looks like and to see those saints that were around him that look like us, to go in that library and to see the text that is used to control society. When people say corporate America has taken over the politics of the world, it always been that way. That's what the Morgans did. As a matter of fact, there was a meeting in 1907 that took place where the economy was on the brink of disaster. He called the meeting of 25 key bankers and politicians and all of them, put them in that room, that red room that I showed y'all, and didn't let them leave until they came up with $25 million sum to save the economy of America in 1907. So you wouldn't know this story unless you did research on Pierpont Morgan. And, you know, I hear people say JP Morgan all the time. What the hell is JP? They don't know. They just repeat it. So like Brother Taz said, don't just regurgitate stuff. Research. Even everything that we're telling you. And I stand on business. I can prove everything that I'm telling y'all. Everything. But I don't want you to take my word for it. Research it for yourselves and come up with your own conclusion. But I don't want you to be stupid anymore, especially as politics is concerned. When you go into his library, you see the power that the family or his family had on not just the politics of the United States, but around the world, in particular, Italy and France. There are JP Morgan houses of collections in France today. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox. We've come to the end of our program. Brother Blacksmith, your final thoughts and commentary. Let's get the people up out of here.
Yes, ma'am. Once again, a great show. Thank y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for having me once again on the Brooklyn Bridge. Great show, technology. Know that technology isn't all electronic. Technology is whatever you make out of it. Q used to always say that there are 6,000 patented inventions that are in the offing that the elite, or who they call the elite, will never release. And 47 is supposed to be the one that gets all that off the road. We already know about Nasara, Jasara, money for everybody, and all of the 9 people activities in ways that it will improve. So know that technology, look, if you want to learn something and you believe you too old to learn stuff and what have you, there was a point 15, 20 years ago where elders didn't want to learn how to use cell phones. Everybody knows how to use a cell phone now, because if you don't know how to use it, you ain't using the phone. So, understand that, and that could let you know that you're never too old to learn. So that is the lesson I hope you got, regardless of whether it's technology, history, or anything for that matter. My 2 books. My first one was a semi-autobiography. I'm sorry, with my ugly face on the front, and the second one was an expose on the on the entertainment industry, focusing on hip hop. My blog name is melaninstitute.blogspot.com. I splash there at least every other day. Everybody on this panel and most of y'all who are listening or looking in are aware of me, whether you're a member of the site or a friend of mine. My name is Basil Medina on Facebook. If you want any of the books, just inbox me, be Cash App ready, and let's go. I'm not gonna hold because we're already over time, so I'm gonna pass the mic back to my sister Keisha. Thorough Black Talk. See you on the bridge next week. One love. Peace.
In 2 weeks, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and commentary.
Apologies. Computer was acting up, had to flip to the phone, so I forgot. So, brothers and sisters, I'd like to thank you for your time and energy that you spent here with us. Remember that, as we walk through museums, as we go through these spaces, number one, like Sister Keisha mentioned, fashion. Our attire means everything. This is why fashion was included in a subset of the 9 people's activities, because it is something that we must be aware of. Also, if we review the 10 virtues of Ma'at, be free from resentment under the experience of persecution. When you go into these spaces, You may feel they're looking at you. You may feel anything, but you belong there like anybody else. You pay your tax dollars. You've contributed one way or another into this space. You belong there. And if it sits on ancient ground, you even more belong there. Like Brother Tad was saying earlier, be free to create who you want to be. Decolonize your mind. Figure out what your needs are and your beliefs, because these are the things that hold us back. So if we can clear ourselves of certain beliefs and certain needs, we can understand them better. We can become better citizens to each other. And not only ourselves, because our first self is what matters most. So with all that said, brothers and sisters, I am so glad that we get to miss each other, because you'll get to be with your family and you'll get to come back and tell us all about Family Day and how that went on December 5th. Remember to like, share, and follow. Remember to make time flourish, or if it won't make it flourish. It is yours to will. You have the opportunity to change anything you want in your life. So be straight, be strong, be black, and have a good time.
Yeah. Well, family, we definitely thank you for tuning in with us today. Thank you for all the people for your participation. We want to thank the new people who dropped in. Shout out to everybody sent over by Doggy Diamonds. Hopefully you're inspired by something you heard here tonight. It's your turn to go out and inspire others. Don't forget to check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. Me and my partner C Gutter on the OG Wisdom podcast. Shout out to Brother Ray and the William Mackey Study Group. You can check them out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on YouTube as well. So I want y'all to stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, it's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Again, thank you all for checking and rocking out with us right here on the Brooklyn Bridge. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Filet and MWM. You can catch their broadcast every Saturday evening, 10:30 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Also, if you really want to go with us to the Morgan Museum and Library, tune in December 5th. I will give you the date and time. We'll meet up and how you can purchase your tickets in advance, and get ready to see some things and enter into spaces that we are definitely needed. So enjoy your family time. Enjoy your family time. Enjoy your family time. We will see you black again on the Brooklyn Bridge in 2 weeks. Good night, family. We are out.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight, thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary ways they fly underneath the open sky. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power Media on the spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary ways.